speaking of the Republican Party and extremist elements within it, we've talked a little bit about what's going on with Democrats. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the Republican Party. Remember back in 2011 when television evangelist Pat Robertson criticized some of the voters of the Republican Party, saying they are kind of extremists who are causing the Republican Party to lose elections. Pat Robertson was 100% right about that. This week, 700 Club host Pat Robertson says that the Republican Party is facing a takeover by radicals on the right who will nominate candidates that aren't capable of defeating Democrats. There's something a little funny about what Pat Robertson's saying here. Take a listen to what he said on the 700 Club.
Well, you know how the Republicans are. They can snatch defeat from the jaws of victory with very great ease. And the next thing you know is a whole bunch of radicals on the right begin knocking off established figures and saying, well, we're going to call on them to be responsible. And before long, the candidates the Republicans put out aren't capable of beating the Democrats. And so the Democrats laugh all the way to the to the ballot box and beyond.
What Pat Robertson is saying obviously makes perfect sense. But of course, the religious right movement, which is a big part of the extremism in the Republican Party, is spearheaded by televangelists and extreme religious folks like Pat Robertson himself. He seems to have no awareness that while he's right, he's part of that problem he's identified.
It's true. And while he may not be as bad as some of the other televangelists and megachurch pastors who are actively telling people exactly what to do in terms of voting, it is kind of funny that he brings this up.
I get the feeling that if you asked Pat Robertson, he would probably say that it's the extreme anti-government loons on the right that are causing this problem. And he would think that the religious folks who are anti-gay, anti-abortion, anti-secularism like him aren't the problem. If you ask Pat Robertson, it would probably be actually a testament to the internal fracturing of the Republican Party that Pat Robertson would identify only other types of right-wing extremists as the problem, and he wouldn't see himself that way.
Yeah, it's funny how it's all subjective. If you ask us, I mean, the Republican Party had been taken over by extremists 10 years ago.
Yeah, and a lot of them are just like Pat Robertson. So it is, I guess it's all perspective, but it is proof that when we look at the evangelical religious wing of the Republican Party, then we look at the pro-business low tax wing, and then we look at the small government Tea Party, don't tread on me types, there are pretty significant lines that are dividing these groups, although of course there is crossover. And most of them would prefer anyone from that side than a more progressive candidate. Let's take a break. Today, we're going to be talking to Chaim Levin, who is someone who has been subjected to so-called ex-gay conversion reparative therapy. His story is unbelievable. That's coming up. We'll also talk about the situation in North Korea. We will talk about more people angry with Neil deGrasse Tyson over Cosmos. So much. Glad you're with us on this Tuesday afternoon. This is viewer-supported independent media. Please support our program by going to davidpakman.com/membership and becoming a member today.